Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Well, I am sitting in Longview, Texas. My day is done. Gonna have a few trucks going by. Maybe I shouldn't have that window down as much. I'll put it up about halfway. This is continuing the series I've been doing about talking to real people in the trucking industry. And tonight we got a crazy guy, a madman. I ain't sure what all we can call him, but we're going to talk to Carlos for a little bit. Carlos, how you doing, brother? Thanks for taking time for this.
Oh, you are most welcome, Papa Joe. How you doing?
I'm tired, but I'm alive. The older I get, the tireder these days make it, you know?
I hear you.
Now, let's do a little intro to you. You've got a bit of an interesting background in the trucking, and I like to let people know how trucking has influenced the people I'm talking to. You heard how it went way back to Stormy, back to kindergarten. How long have you been associated in any form or fashion with trucking?
I would have to say about 21 years now, Papa Joe.
Now, that's how long you've been trucking or how long you've been around it?
Well, that's how long that I have been trucking myself. I have been around it since I was 15 years old, right around there. So maybe I'm going to date myself here, about 25 to 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we all know Carlos is around 40. That's trucker man.
I'm actually 43 years old, and I will be 44 in February, so do the math.
All right, well, I'm going to be, 58, I think, next month, in October. So, what the heck. So now, I'm going to help you out a little bit here, because we have talked. You got associated with trucking through your uncle. You and him started butting around a bit, and at 15 or so, is that when you started riding around with him? And really, when you started coming into puberty and being somebody worth being around, I'm sure is when he said, yo, dude, let's hang out.
Yep, that is true. He was one of those good uncles, that just was really trying to look out for us kids. He just really tried to make sure that he stepped in and we had some sort of path and purpose in life, and he wanted to give us as much advice as possible. In fact, one of the first things that I remember he told me about trucking was to not do it.
Right?
Don't do it.
Yep.
Don't do it.
That's what I told my kids. Now, did you go on road trips and stuff with him then, or was it just he was a trucker and you was around him?
Both. Way back when he actually, he tried to use kind of like that,
reverse psychology? Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to do that whole, like, why don't you come on with me? It's hot, it's dusty, it's boring, no radio, no CD, just hop in the truck, let's go, bring some clothes, you'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
And he wanted me to see the open road the real way, and, then there wasn't no YouTube, no real cell phones, really. Just a pager,
Yeah.
Way back when you didn't have any of the stuff we have today to stay in touch and to pass the time. So he used that, and from Woodland, California to Fresno, we did sugar beets, we did Christmas trees in the wintertime. Just smaller trips here and there, and it kind of didn't work for him, because the more that I would go out with him, the more intrigued I would get, the more that I would want to do. And then when I was 15, close to 16 years old, I couldn't wait to hop in the truck next, and I was doing pre-trips when I was that young.
Right. Now, a little more of your story is you did go to college, so they gave you, whoever helped you get through college, you did have another path that you could go down, and you still chose trucking. You had already been bit by the bug.
That is right. Yes. Yep, that is correct. So after high school, I was kind of farting around for about 6 months, you know, and just being a kid, I guess, and wanted money. I needed money, so, you know, I would look into the trucking schools around, you know, the county and stuff, and I hadn't quite done it for like, I don't know, like a year after that, but I did have a chance to go to college. I got my associate's degree, and I was supposedly trying to major in computer-aided drafting. It's called CAD, way back when, and somehow that morphed and changed into, you know, my business degree. Got that, but all the meanwhile, every weekend I'd have a trip here and there with my uncle. He would, you know, break me off some money to help him unload stuff. I would grab a shovel, get all the rice out of the side dump. I mean, just stuff that was associated with trucking always was a real thing for me. You know, regardless of school and all that.
Yeah.
I was bit, like you said, yeah.
It was always just right there, just right outside of reach. So you decided to go trucking, and you've been trucking, what, 21 years or so now?
It's about 21 years off and on, yeah.
Okay, now, what all kinds of trucking have you done since you came out and decided to come out? You've been OTR, we know you're local right now, so what all have you done?
Well, I have done the local routes. I've done regional, you know, interstate. I have done some OTR in the past, not a lot like a dedicated run or anything like that, but I have done a single and some doubles. I've done some flatbed work, which a flatbed, hats off to you flatbedders out there. Man, that is some work.
That ain't no lie.
Flatbed is no joke.
Been there and done it myself. Yep. That is work.
Oh, yeah. That is no joke. You know, to tighten that load up every 100 miles, tighten it up constantly.
Yep.
Forget it. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, some flatbedding, some dry van, hauling rice, grains, beets, tomatoes, rolls of steel, water healers. You know, I had to run for True Value Hardware back in the day. So a little bit of everything.
But you have been out enough where you've been away from the house for a while, so you've had a taste of being gone and being home every night, the whole routine, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you definitely understand that feeling of being gone all the time and blah, blah, blah. Reason I was leading up to that, you and I have talked about a lot of the mental games and the head games that we play on ourselves, the depression that we can fall into out here. So I was wanting to lead into that so that people would know that you're not just a truck driver talking smack, that you've been out here and dealt with it. So that's what all that questioning was about, to verify for the people that you've got a clue about what we're going to be talking about. Fair enough?
Absolutely.
Now,
absolutely fair.
Go ahead. You told me there's a few things you wanted to speak about. Go ahead and what do you want to discuss on this?
I mean, just basically, you know, for the newer drivers, or, you know, not just the rookie driver, but the pre-driver, you know, the men and women who are looking at schools and what it costs and what they want to do and all that. I don't really suggest that you pick the most expensive school, because literally, schools won't show you a whole lot but what you need to do to pass the test.
True.
That's something that I heard from Stone and from Nomad, for that matter, that really the school is just there to get you right past the test. And you know, channels like yours, Papa George, are just extremely critical.
Well, good.
They're critical to get the what's what, the real of the real, if you will, on what you're going to be getting yourself into. And that will lead into my next statement. Trucking is not a job. Trucking might be called a profession, but more so what I like to call it is a lifestyle.
That's true.
A trucker lives a trucker lifestyle. Lifestyle is one word with many facets to it. Lifestyle means your time, your passion, your patience. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into being a trucker that won't get told to you through a rule book, through a CDL handbook, through a training class. Friends and family that know about it, they won't really know what's really real about it until, you know, they're on the road.
Let me intersect here a little bit. First, I want to go back to where you was talking about the schools. I have personally talked to so many people, so that what he is saying is, let me wrap it up in hillbilly, is that it doesn't matter what name's on the door of that school. It doesn't matter how much money you're paying for the school. The $3,000 school is going to do the same thing that the $30,000 school, and I don't know that they really cost that. I'm just grabbing numbers. But it doesn't matter how much you're paying. Every school is going to do absolutely as little as possible. They're going to just get you past your CDL test. Now, back in the day, they would teach you about trucking. They don't do that anymore. So where he's saying don't, when you're shopping around, don't take the most expensive, that's a real good point. It don't matter the cost of them. You're going to just get your CDL is all you're going to get out of any of them. Now, where you was just talking about people associated with trucking and whatnot, my wife is a prime example because for the first, I don't know how many years, now she was married to a trucker myself. Every blue moon I was on bid runs, you know, staying regional. So she would ride with me every blue moon. But now I knew all the good places to stop, and I picked up in the same places, delivered at the same places, and all this. So now she was under the influence that she knew a little bit about trucking. Now once we became empty nesters and she went over the road with me, that's when she found out she really didn't know trucking. And that's exactly what he's saying. You might have people in your family that know a little bit about trucking, but until you're out here and you have lived this lifestyle, and it is a lifestyle, until you have lived it personally, you don't have a clue. Oh, sorry about interrupting, but you know, I'm me, man. I got to do that every once in a while.
No, that's good.
Go on with you.
And
go ahead.
I mean, that is a very, very true statement. I mean, for some drivers that are just local drivers, I mean, yes, they have a sense of how to, you know, to drive the truck. Yes, they have the know-how to manage their clock, you know, to get on that Qualcomm to report message or hours, your clock is ticking, all that, right? But a local driver like myself, hypothetically, that when, like, say I didn't have the experience that I had from doing OTR before, I'll tell you what, even as a local driver, you will get the shock of your life the minute you switch out from local to an OTR.
Right, and that's why I want to do a interview with Jim Dunn. We're just having a timing issue between his schedule and mine. But Jim Dunn was a local driver for around 17 years, getting home all the time. And then he came out here, and it was literally a shock to him. That's when he found my channel and we started talking. And it has just literally blown him away. So I'm hoping that will be a real good informative video, not just for new people, but for the local people that want to come out, you know, that think they want to make the change up. So, and once again, like you said earlier, there's many avenues of this trucking. It is a lifestyle, even if you're a local like yourself, and I know several local drivers. Y'all have to cater your home time to the trucking, so you're still sacrificing your home time. It ain't a 9 to 5. You don't clock in and out during business hours. You run mostly nights, so you're still missing a whole lot of time with your family, you know? So.
Yeah. Yeah. And, here to your point, too, is when you do know what to expect, or when you don't know what to expect, the job in itself is pretty psychological, Papa Joe.
Yes.
Meaning, there's a lot of physical work to it, but there's a lot of mental work to it also.
Right.
I mean, where you stop really having a lot of human contact with, friends and family when you're on the road. Now, mind you, nowadays there's cell phones, FaceTime, all sorts of things. You can see your loved ones on a little screen. You can stop at a truck stop. You can YouTube. You can make videos. You can call somebody on the phone whenever, however many times you want. But even then, there is nothing that will substitute human contact, like human touch. You can't say, hey, Grandma, can you hand me that napkin right there?
Right.
You are alone, Papa Joe, and you know that, right?
That's a fact. And that's where I've tried to tell people that, and I just said it earlier in this video, we get playing our own head games. I mentioned it with Stormy, how we start getting our pity parties going. You are literally by yourself, and the old saying is that we're our own worst enemy. And in trucking, that's very true, because you can get so depressed out here. You just start feeling left out. Like you said, you start losing contact with your family and stuff. When I lost my son, it really amazed me how many more friends I lost. I can't say I lost them, but they didn't know how to talk. They didn't know what to say, which there wasn't nothing they can say, and I understood that. But they didn't understand it. It put them in a predicament. And it ends up being the same way with your friends. You'll have some that you talk to, your family and friends, but after a while, all you can tell them is, yeah, I drove 600 miles today. I picked up a load and I delivered a load, stopped at 3 trucks. There's not a whole lot that you can talk to them about. So they start weeding away. So yes, you do end up pretty much being on your own, except for a tight handful of people.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you're a truck driver, for those folks that don't drive a truck and they don't know the lifestyle, again, they don't know about it, they can read about it, they can YouTube about it, they can watch, the YouTube channel that we're on right now. But when they don't do it, once that maybe half a minute time of attention span that most people have, they're going to forget. And that's when we as truck drivers or folks that don't do the same thing lose that common ground. We don't have the same thing to talk about. Hey, how was your day? Oh, well, I got a paper cut and such doing this. Well, I'm sitting here on the side of a road because my fan belt broke after 3 hours. They don't know anything about that.
Right.
They can't relate to that. So it's like, oh, really? Yeah. And that's when it stops. That's when you get the crickets on the phone.
Yeah.
For those who are looking to do this, be very, very careful, be mindful, and if you have a family, a wife, kids, a spouse, whatever it is, whatever your situation is, be very careful and talk it over with them. Be open and honest. Say, look, are we going to be okay if I'm not home every week? every 2 weeks. There's some road warriors that are out 9 weeks.
Right.
You know, it all depends on what you want to do. There's so much to do, like you said, Papa Joe. But you want to chat it over with them. Make sure your life can fit into the new lifestyle you're looking to put it through.
Yes.
Because absolutely, to your point, Papa Joe, you will get depressed. You will get the head games going. What I like to call it is stinky thinking, meaning, heaven forbid, you're already in a rocky marriage or a rocky relationship, or you guys aren't truly stable. As soon as you hit the road and you know you're going to be gone for 3 days, let's say, the minute you get a phone call or a text that isn't, I love you so much, I can't wait till you get back, your mind starts playing games. Well, what is she doing? What is he doing?
Yeah.
Oh, so I called and she didn't answer. What's going on? Where are the kids? Da-da-da-da.
Yep.
I mean, your mind starts going and snowballing, and all hell's going to break loose in your head. And the one thing that I have to say, and I will say it again and again, is when you're not mentally rock solid to do this, be careful.
Yep.
Because you're driving an 80,000-pound weapon at that point. Your truck suddenly converts to a weapon. And if you're not totally alert and with it, and you're frustrated or angry or sad or, hell, hungry for that matter.
Yeah.
Lots of emotions play out in that cab of that truck. If you're not careful, you can make one wrong lane change or, man.
Yeah.
It can be deadly.
And not only just for not just for yourself. Yeah. Now I'll back up a little bit again. That's what I liked when I was talking to Stormy last night. She said before Jim came out here that they talked, and that is so good. You know, they talked about it. Before me and my wife decided to become an item, I was already a trucker. I was a trucker when we was dating. And I did my best to explain to her, you know, what my lifestyle was like. So yes, it is so important that if you are going to be doing this and you're already into a relationship and or marriage, the number one thing is you need to talk to everybody involved. If you're super tight with your parents and they're getting old or something, you need to talk to them, because not only are the head games played out here, the head games are played at home. If you have that wife at home and she isn't really mentally solid and stable, then when she's she now has to deal with all this stuff, everything, because you're not really around to help no more. So now she's going to have her pity parties and whatnot, and you have to be ready for that. And when she does call and she's falling apart over whatever and don't know what to do, you've got to really be able to talk to her. You can't just blow it off, she's bitching again, or any of this. You've got to step up, understand what she's going through, and try to help her resolve it. Does that make any sense?
Absolutely, Papa Joe. And you brought up an excellent point, is when you leave, when you take off for your run for the day or the week or month, whatever your gig is, you also have to deal with possible resentment. Absolutely, to your point. She now becomes mommy and daddy, best friend, confidant. I mean, you name it. That person who stays home or stays there with the family while you're gone, they now have to take on everything. And mind you, while they may not mean it, but when they call you and they sound frustrated, oh, I had to take, him to basketball and this, and I don't know the first thing, and guess what? The car's overheating now, babe, and you're not around to help me. I mean, they're venting to you, but you're going to take it as, man, they're mad at me. Then you start to get really upset with yourself. You start hating the job. You start to loathe yourself because you're not around to help. Heaven forbid you got a newborn baby. Guess what? Guess who's walking now? Oh, man. Yeah.
Yep.
You will feel like total crap. So you have to take all those things into consideration because they're real.
Well, we heard from Stormy last night. Now, she grew up, her dad was a trucker in her younger years. And she stated herself that she did resent it when he left. You know, she was a child, and here goes daddy again. He's going to be gone. But now as an adult and married to a trucker, she understands what was going on. She understands he was just trying to provide any way that he could. And, you know, so now she's gotten past that deal. I would suggest to anybody that's even thinking about it, you're going to dedicate a little bit of your time and money, because you're not going to be getting paid to go to school and training to speak of. You get chump change for training, okay? But if you're even thinking about it, I would put a time limit on it. You know, talk as a couple, and okay, honey, let me go this school. It's going to be 3 weeks. I'll get on and already know who you're going to go out with. I'll get on with company XYZ, and we'll try it for 6 months, or we'll try it for a year. And at that point, you both have to understand that you're not getting into the money yet, so you're not going to see the dollars that you will with a little bit of experience. What you're doing is seeing if the family unit can handle one member being gone. And that's the main thing. I can't emphasize it enough. With the one person, the one parent being gone, it changes the lifestyle of your whole family and you. So where he was saying, Carlos was saying earlier that this is a lifestyle, well, you're changing the lifestyle back home as well. And you need to understand that. So now something else I want to cover, and you're a good person to help me do it. Stone and I touched on it a little bit in his interview about the kind of person that you need to be out here, and or the kind of person that does not need to be out here. Can you elaborate on that, and then I'll give my thoughts on what you have to say.
Well, I mean, you really have to have a strong mind to be out here, meaning, you know, you really can't be weak about things where, you know, hypothetically, if you find yourself as a rookie, right, if you find yourself hypothetically right in the middle of Chicago traffic, and that can be, I mean, that is probably one of the worst places I've ever been through, is in rush hour traffic, in the wintertime, in the rain. You know, we talked about this for a second, Papa Joe, the other day, is, you know, if you find yourself stuck in traffic with nowhere to turn, it's hailing or raining or whatever, and there's no truck pull-off, you will crack.
Right, you'll panic. I mean, that's where I say you panic.
Oh, yep, you will panic, you will break, and chances are, folks, grown men will break down crying from fear, from
frustration.
You know, oh, absolutely, frustration, fear, panic, and again, I cannot stress this enough. Once you panic, you're gonna cause an accident. You will freak out because you will forget your training. You will forget somewhat of, say, your common sense about things. You're going to steer left or right erratically, and it's going to be all bad. You got to be really mentally strong and prepared for this, and try to keep as calm as possible. Now, trust me, nobody's a robot, you know,
right,
with no feelings or emotions, but you got to be mentally able to, you know, control this 80,000 pound mothership that you're somewhat in control of, because once you lose traction, you're not in control of jack at that point.
Right, and that's one of the things I tell them, is that you're driving an 80,000 pound missile, and you only have control as long as the missile wants you to have control. Once you blow a tire or spin out, like you're talking about, losing traction, that's spinning out. Once any of this stuff starts happening, then you lose control for the most part. There's minor little things that you can do to regain it, but chances are the truck's going to take over. The load's going to take over, which is why you need to be rock solid, like he's saying, mentally stable, and to keep your composure. Know that something's going to go wrong. Something I've told, and I've made some professional drivers upset. I used to drive in Atlanta all the time, and they would get cussing the traffic and carrying on that CB, and I'd ask them, where'd you pick your load up? And we'll say LA. And I say, you've had from LA to here, how long did that take you? 3 days. And you hit this during rush hour, you couldn't plan this a little bit better? So now there's two avenues right there now, okay? Either they had poor trip planning where they hit it during rush hour, or their load was so sensitive that they had to come through. Well, if you know you've got to go through, start getting yourself mentally ready. You know what time rush hour is in any major city. Rush hour is approximately the same time. So if you know you're going to hit it, don't go in there with the attitude that you're already frustrated and I don't want to deal with this. Go in there knowing you're fixing to deal with a whole lot of stupid, and you need to be the one in control. You need to be the calm, collective, and in control. And that is easier said than done, but that is what needs to be done.
Yep. So if you're someone that has a short temper, or just short on patience, or someone that doesn't accept things too easily, then this job is not for you.
That's true. If you've got your feelings on your sleeve, if you're one of these tender people, and you can't take criticism, you can't take someone talking rough to you, then you might reconsider. Because I'll tell you right now, you go into these shippers and receivers and even some dispatch, and you're going to get a little bit in a shop getting a repair done. Everybody's going to be talking down to you, especially if you allow it. So this is stuff you've got to be ready for. If you're going to ball up and cry because that mechanic told you to get the H out of my shop and all this, you might reconsider. You got to have a little bit of tough skin out here. Go ahead, your turn.
I mean, you pretty much said it all right there. You have to have some thick skin, to get behind the wheel. Just know that as soon as you get behind the wheel of any truck or anything, you're automatically classified to everyone else in society. Oh, he's just a driver.
Yep.
He has his job because he couldn't do anything else with his life. Or,
yep.
Oh, so he can't be a professional, so I guess it's the truck driver. I mean, just
right.
Know that that's what people think. That is a horrible stereotype. Trust me, I understand. There's a lot. There's lots of stereotypes for every race, every creed, every culture, every profession. You think a computer guy is just nothing but a nerd.
Yep.
Which I'm one of those too, and I'm a truck driver as well. So call me a nerd, whatever.
So you're a nerdy loser.
A nerdy loser with nothing else to do but driving a truck, because that's all I know.
There you go.
I mean, and that is absolutely fine for them to think that, but know that I get pleasure knowing, 99% of stuff that's in your guys' household or business was brought to you by a truck. So
that's a
you
fact.
can think what you want, but we got it there to you.
Well, now there's something else. There's a couple more things we're going to talk about. I hope you ain't in a hurry.
Nope.
Another one is, now I love the way that the live streams are becoming a community, okay? And we joke and cut up, and you are a big clown yourself. That is something that can really help you out here. One is to kill them with kindness, which is something that I try to do, and to have a sense of humor. The sense of humor out here can go so far. It helps to keep yourself in good spirits. And if you come upon this person, shipper, receiver, whatever, the guy on the forklift, whoever, if you can cut up even at your own expense, which you do a lot, this can help brighten their day up. So, you know, this is one of the good pluses, that if you have a good sense of humor, then that can be a big plus out here. What do you think?
I completely agree. I mean, even on my worst day, Papa Joe, you will hear me say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am. How
Yes.
you doing, sir? How you doing, ma'am? Not
Yes.
because I respect them that highly, because sometimes they're younger than me, right?
Right.
It's okay. Because sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get what you want. And if that means me going from the third unloading to the first unloading, then, sir, I am here. How you doing? Can I help you a little bit? Because, man, this traffic's going to kill me out of here. What do you say?
Yep.
9 times out of 10, they will feel a little bit of sentiment towards that.
Yes.
That's not fake, you know, because that's my humor by nature, is to be humorous, and that's why you see me with the jokes on the live stream. You know, I like that stuff. I don't even care, because really, nothing really offends me like that, because you know what? It's okay. There's only one person who can judge me, and all these people aren't it.
That's a fact, and that's how I am. I love to joke and cut up. Let that truck get on by. And it goes so far. And the yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, that is nothing but being polite. It can have nothing or a lot to do with respect for that person. It is the way that we was raised. Now, which for a California boy to be saying yes, sir, and yes, ma'am surprises me a lot. But in the South, that was common practice. You got smacked upside the head if you didn't say yes, man. Say yeah to around my dad, my uncles or whatnot. Just say yeah to a grown-up. You'd get popped upside the head real quick. What'd you say, boy? You know? So being polite is just part of it. Dadgummit, I had a brain fart here. There was something else. Oh, I know what else I wanted to cover. Something else that you and I discussed this morning. We talked a little bit on the phone this morning, folks, trying to schedule this. And I'm going to let you go with it. I'm going to give you a lead in, and that is be your own boss. Go ahead. Tell them how much you're your own boss out here.
Well, so I do drive truck, not a whole lot anymore, if you will, not in the traditional sense of the word, where I do haul mostly at night, grain, plastic pellets, you know, for tap plastics and things like that. So I don't really have to deal with a lot of traffic that way, and really the private owner that owns this little trucking company has been a real godsend. I mean, he's a really nice guy. In fact, he knew my uncle too from way back in the day, Papa Joe, so that was a big plus for me already.
I bet.
So he's really cool about everything. You know, we got pretty nice trucks. You know, they're T680s, so really no real complaints, and I never really have to worry about my hours because I don't drive OTR like that or get in traffic like that, you know, and it's real chill. But, so since I do have my business degree, and I did go to school back in the day, I have a side job / business where I'm an IT consultant. There's a lot of hats that you wear when you're an IT consultant, but the easiest way for me to describe what that is that I show large businesses like banks, computer companies, whoever does e-commerce and, transmits data between locations. So I help large businesses plan, strategize, and spend their money on their network services.
Right.
That means, the internet, private data, security, something that I've just grown to learn over the years, or I work for the local, consulting agencies, and you learn, you got a book, you got a course. I mean, nothing really too earth-shattering, but that is extremely stable income, and it's growing, and quite honestly, global business, e-commerce, that's where the future is going to be. I mean, cloud-based technologies, that's really the way of the world. And, so if this fails, if I don't feel like driving one day, thank goodness that I was blessed with, some folks in my life very early on that said, okay, fine. If you want to drive, that's cool. We'll let you drive, and we'll help you go to school for that. But at least try to give your education a shot. Get your degree, just in case. Just in case.
Right.
And I did.
Right. That all worked out good for you. What I was leaning toward there on that intro was where we was talking about all these companies, and you see it on the side of the trucks. Be your own boss. Drive this truck and be your own boss. They have the, hopefully this guy ain't gonna pull up here and idle. Put my window up until he shuts it off. But when you're coming out here, folks, they want to tell you that you're your own boss. You're going to set your own schedule and all that stuff driving a truck. And that is so far from the truth. You have so many people that are putting boundaries on your job. And it starts right here in this truck with this ELD that you hear us talk about, electronic log device. That's where it starts. Now you also have brokers and that is telling you when you have to go pick up, when you have to deliver. You've got DOT, federal and state level, that is dictating to you what you can and cannot do. You got the guy at the scale house. You got the police out there. You are not your own boss out here, despite what they say. And when you talk to some drivers, they'll say, yeah, but I sleep when I want to. Well, no, that load dictates when you get to sleep. Go ahead and elaborate on it a little bit for me.
I mean, so everything that you said is right on point, please do not get fooled. Do not get fooled here, with the signs and, with the offers, especially with the new drivers that are just coming out of the school. Guys, be careful. Be careful what's on that contract, because they will promise you everything. You'll be home every night or every weekend. You'll be home. Home time is good. Home time is stable. It's always going to be there. And you know what? That is absolutely not true.
Right.
Be very careful with what you sign, with what they promise. Absolutely, to your point, Papa Joe, you have really no control over anything. The Qualcomm is your boss, because it's pretty much counting down your time, your day, 34 hours. Here's a break. You got to do this. It's going to beat you if you don't. And if you keep driving, you're going to get a ticket. Here comes DOT. Here comes officer such and such. Here comes the guard shack. A guard, a minimum wage paid guard for Target, distribution center says, nope, we're full, you need to wait.
Yep.
And you literally got 20 more minutes left on your clock, you're stuck.
Yep.
You're in control of nothing.
Well, and it goes up, as bad as it sounds to say, but it's the truth. It goes all the way down to your bathroom breaks. Your load in that clock over there is dictating if you even have time to stop and sit down on the toilet. Am I not true?
Yeah. That is exactly true. That is exactly true. I mean, you really have to look at these loads. I mean, and what I try to do when I get a load that's like new or that I've never had to, go to or drop to or deliver to or anything like that is when you're doing your pre-trip, have a route pre-trip, if you will.
Right.
And that simply means, okay, know your A to B destination, know how many miles, how many hours estimate, pad it with some time just in case.
Yep.
If you're a flatbedder, you want to pad in some extra hours for tightening your loads and, very careful with high winds too. Be careful of all that. Pad it with some time to give yourself some time so you're not absolutely scrambling each and every time, because that gets really old.
Oh yeah.
It gets really old.
It gets stressful. It gets really stressful. So now we're back into that routine again.
Yeah.
One thing I want to throw in there, I didn't interrupt you earlier, Port, but I will now, being the rude guy I am. Something else you drivers have to realize that's coming into this, when these companies tell you that they are family oriented, that's a big one out here. Oh, we're all about the family. We're family oriented. And they are about their family, not your family. They could give a hill of beans. Most companies, there's some that's cool about it, but I guarantee you, if they're trying to use that as a selling point, chances are the family that they're worried about is theirs, not yours. So, oh goodness.
I agree.
What else would you?
agree with that.
What else would you like to tell people that are thinking about this industry?
You know what? Say hypothetically, once you get on with the carrier, guys, just have the mindset that you're not really going to make any money the first year. You might see a little glimpse in your second year, and your third year will go a lot better. Hang in there. Be patient. Be safe. Be kind. Be kind to those even that aren't kind to you. It's just an old school rule. Just be kind, because you want to break that vicious cycle of the stereotype of.
Hey folks, Papa Joe and Carlos back. The dadgum tablet ran out of memory, and we've been about 45 minutes just shooting the bull, waiting on it to download so I could delete it and get more memory. Carlos, where we was at is you was telling them about the money that they would make, not to expect so much the first year. It'd get a little better second year. Third year, you're starting to get somewhere. Go ahead and let's just wrap this up. What do you want to wrap it up telling the folks?
I mean, just pretty much here before the video cut out, guys. When you go to the school, don't expect everything. Just know that they will teach you just enough to get through the testing period, and so you get your CDL. But really, please do your research. Be realistic with yourself. Be realistic with the program that you're going to enroll yourself in. Don't expect anything. Know that when you're new, you are in the losing position every time with the new carrier, small or the mega carriers. You are in the position to lose because you have no experience. So keep that in mind. The money will follow that the first year, to Papa's point. You won't get a lot of money. You'll get a little more the second year. The third year, you're going to do okay. Just hang in there. Have a strong mind about it. Read the fine print. And, you should be okay because you know what to expect. And when you know what to expect, you can already kind of be real with yourself, and you can make the adjustments as you go along.
Very good. Well, brother, I know you've been on here almost 2 hours with me. I appreciate your patience during our little technical glitch. Although you're an IT guy, you didn't get to fix my glitch for me, but that's all right. We'll cover that in a live stream in a little bit. I'm going to let you get off of here. I'm going to wrap this thing up, then call Grandma, and I'll probably do a live stream. So, brother, I appreciate your time and your advice to everybody. I think it's made for a good video.
I agree, Papa Joe, and I appreciate you having me on here. I appreciate the listeners and all their time as well. And just one last thing, I want to thank you personally, Papa Joe, for every video that I've seen so far. There has not been one bad one in the bunch. You give great advice, real advice, natural advice from a good trucker that has just been very entertaining and educational. So thank you from someone who has been doing this for a long time. You're never too old to learn something new.
Boy, that's a fact. Thank you for all the flowers. All right, brother, I love you, man. You be careful trucking tonight and try to catch a live stream here in about a half hour or so.
All right, Papa Joe, sounds good, man. Love you too. Everybody else, stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, folks, that was Carlos. You know him from the live stream. And a little synopsis of the whole thing is before you come out here and you decide you want to be a trucker, you need to have a conversation with everybody in your life that means something to you. It's not going to affect just you. It's going to affect your whole family, the wife, the kids, brothers and sisters, mom and dad. It's anybody that's close to you. It's going to affect everybody. You need to do a little bit of homework on what school. You don't have to go to a fancy name one or a high-dollared one. Basically, they're all going to teach you the same thing, which is just to get your CDL. You heard from the other videos with Stone and Nomad. Do your research on what company you're coming out with, because the basis for your career is going to be your trainer. And if you get with a company that does not have good trainers, then you're not going to have the foundation that you need for this industry. You have to be mentally stable. Rewatch several of the videos and understand what you're getting into, and know that it's not the commercials and the little ads that you read in the books. This is the real deal out here. You're going to get lonely. You're going to get depressed. You're going to have times when you don't make money. There's going to be times that the wife or whoever's at home has issues, and you're going to beat yourself up because you can't be there to help with it. There's a lot of issues. You do have to have a tough skin, and you got to be mentally solid to make a good career out here and make good decisions. If you're coming into the career, I wish you the best of luck, but more yet, I wish you would do a whole lot of homework and make a good, solid decision. With that, y'all remember, good Lord loves you, and so do we. Y'all have a blessed evening. We'll see you later. Bye now.